Hails and welcome to Rauta's Black Metal Review. This time we have a wonderful box of things to show you. This is Beastcraft tape box, which features quite interesting amount of material and of course the music. Before unboxing, however, let's take a quick look at the band's past history and also everything related what or how it came to be this particular one. Now, what started in 2003 ended about 10 years later, only to come back another more than 10 years later. The curious thing is obviously this, and I guess a lot of you people know it, but it's worth going through because there's a reason why this band ceased to exist back in the days. Band's guitarist and bass player Alastair Nefas died in 2012. Unfortunately, may he rest in peace. And he was mostly known for his main band, Urgehal. Obviously, he had other projects including, but not limited to, bands like Vulture Lord or Dimnagel and Angst Squadron and all that stuff. And also was known for his major role in Beastcraft, a basically two-man band more or less. And ever since he has been dead, the band pretty much ended up, with 2013. And Sorat Nordgrove, the vocals drummer guy, basically buried that one with a certain farewell lineup with the live and all. But he also brought it back in 2024, at least for a special show, which was his 15th birthday. What is also worth mentioning that he has been in Urgehal live lineup, so there's this strong connection with these two guys. I don't pretend to know how good friends or acquaintances or whatever they were in real life, but it's just kind of obvious, at least for us who have been following the scene for a little bit, that these bands were kind of like related to one another, and even after death. So, what happened during those years? I mean, Urgehal is a lot older band, and of course, Mr. Sharath had other projects and still does. But what is worth mentioning is that the band did only 3 different albums back in the days, and one was released after, Trundler had passed away. So, 2 albums with, his era were done, and of course demos back in the days, and there was also this live album which is very much present here with the box, and this came 2013 on the pure invocation of Alastair Nefas. So he had part of the early years, obviously the major era of the band, and this live was released more or less, to kind of pay this tribute to his existence. Wonderful musician in all. I got to meet Urgehal guys back in what it was 2004 in Oslo, and when they played fantastic live and all that stuff. So what it's worth, I consider Urgehal one of the best Norwegian black metal bands of all time. So I'm not gonna say I had a strong personal connection to the Mr. Of the band back in the days, but at least it was nice to see them live back in the days and, meet them, talk about their music and all that stuff. So, big part of Norwegian black metal history, especially the more raw kind of stuff. And like I said, this is about Beastcraft, not Urgehal, but these bands are connected nonetheless. So with this box, we have 4 different releases, which is this Unpure Invocation of Alastair Nefas, the live album, and these 2 first album, Baptized in Blood and Goat Semen, as well as Into the Burning Pit of Hell debut, as well as Dawn of the Serpent compilation, which is made of these 3 first demos from 2004 to 2006, and a couple of bonus tracks. And this is the time to tune back here for a little bit of unboxing bar. In my opinion, it feels important to just explain the band before going through this unboxing phase, because this is not a new studio release, but more like a compilation or collector's item for hardcore fans. As you can see here, this is limited to 50 copies. I'm very thankful to the label here for sending me one for review, because usually these kind of special items don't really pop up magically and appear here. But this is here to just, you know, showcase you what we have here. And in case you wonder, there are supposed to be a few copies left. And the links are provided in the description box. So this comes with a nice cardboard box, stylized with a nice cover here. And then first of all, we have a flag. I'm gonna just take them on the table first, and then I will show you what we have. Tape number 1. Then there are pins included. Some stickers to go with. There is this label sampler included. It's a small Swiss label, in case you're wondering. An advertisement of sorts. This box comes with a zine, which is here featuring some of the artists here included. And of course, finally, the actual tapes. They're nicely here laid, so they don't really move when you're putting this box apart. So as you can see, this kind of foam with nice holes for your fingers respectively are here. Now in case you're wondering, these are all wrapped. Why are they wrapped when I'm doing the review? First of all, my tape layer is busted. So for me, this is more about collector's item rather than anything else, because obviously I couldn't really plate the actual tapes. So I decided not to open them before unboxing, because it makes no sense. But obviously, because this is unboxing video, would make very, very little sense not to open them, since you are deserving to see how these tapes look like, especially if you're gonna buy one or purchase otherwise. Now, for example, this particular box, I'm not gonna deny it, is going to a friend of mine because he was very much interested in this. So I'm not gonna deny, I'm not keeping this to myself, because like I said, I really couldn't listen to the tape. So for me, this would be just more like a, how to say, memorabilia piece. As you can see here, interesting, cool lineup. Not just cheap J card, but, you know, perfect with cool photos, quality work in terms of the inlays and tapes. Now there is two versions. There are two versions of this, black and white. And I got to choose which one I wanted. For some reason I decided, okay, let's do them white. But honestly, if I was a buying customer, I probably wouldn't care, because the color of the tape is next to meaningless for me anyway. So here you can see, for example, Baptist in Blood and Goat Semen. And again, this comes with a J card, stylishly done, less photos this time, very Xerox-like copies, track listing and all is here included. So let's move on to tape number 3. And here it is. Let's just quickly cut through the wrapping. And this is how it looks. Dawn of the Serpent. Now, this is indeed the demo compilation of the band. And in my opinion, it's not that big of a jump from these demo recordings to what was happening with the first album. Now, musically, Beastcraft's music is very, very close to Urgehal, but obviously there are differences because they are not one and the same band with just, you know, different vocalists and different lineup. The thing here is the certain kind of a trademark like riffing of Nefas is very much present here, but it's more obvious with the second album rather than the first one or the demos. In terms of Norwegian black metal, I think the one band that needs to be mentioned with Urgehal is Darkthrone. In my opinion, the so-called golden era of Darkthrone, pretty much the first 4 albums or so, 5 albums after the debut Soulside Journey, when Darkthrone started doing their raw end of black metal, is very much, at parts anyway, in parts very close to what Urgal started doing, especially after the debut album. And that kind of a riffing is very much present with Beastcraft. The rather lo-fi but riffing, powerful, raw, nasty, dirty sound is very much present with both Beastcraft and Urgal. And like I said, I keep mentioning, Urgal so many times because there are these overlapping ideas. Like certain riffs, especially from Baptized album, could really be something that you would probably hear in later Urgal albums. Whereas Into the Burning Pit of Hell is somewhat different. It's almost like with this one, after the demos anyway, the band is pretty much shaping up its style. Now, this one is very, very interesting in terms of nowadays music. 31 minutes, nothing out of unusual there, but through 12 tracks, meaning a lot of these tracks are pretty short and sweet, around 2-3 minutes, which is not so many given these days, black metal, when songs are so often some 6, 7, 8 minutes, and you have these albums where like 5 tracks and lasting for like 40 minutes, or sometimes 3 tracks lasting for 40 minutes. So this is almost like the opposite of nowadays culture. But then again, this is more old school ways. And by old school, I don't mean 2005. I'm more talking about like 95, 94. But this is, in my opinion, the album where things were not that good. The first 2 releases, I mean, we're talking about the Dawn of the Serpent compilation as well as the debut album, in my opinion, pale in comparison with what happened with Baptized in Blood and Goat Semen. Now, as you can see, the amount of tracks is roughly the same, 11, but now it's 42 minutes. So the overall track length is a little bit more. But this is even rawer, even more violent, and now the riffs are more closer to what Urgal started doing after or since around the second album. And in my opinion, it's this fierce style of riffing which makes this, so good. And as you can see here, the lineup is just, Nefas and Sorath. I'm referring to him as, Nefas because he used his Thrunder Nefas name also with, Urgal. So different Nefas, but nonetheless the same guy. And then, of course, you have this live album, which is less than 40 minutes through 10 tracks. And this features interesting lineup. Basically, Sorath is the only key member here, but you have a lot of guest session vocalists, including certain people who have obviously played in Urgal. So it's a pretty interesting combination of camaraderie, brotherhood even, if you consider that. And while it's a live album with raw end of black metal, I think everything is pretty fucking nicely done. It's powerful live and does great justice to the music. Now, I'm not a big live album fan myself, but listening to this few times, I was like, yeah, it doesn't really pale in comparison to this studio albums, and as such, it totally works nicely. So if you ask me, the best in this box in terms of music is Baptized in Blood and Goat Semen, but the live would come second. And then it's pretty much 50-50 with Dawn of the Serpent and Into the Burning Pit of Hell, taking the quality duties here. So I'm gonna put these extra items back in the box. I didn't even realize there was this 5th tape that I got here. Maybe I should just unbox it for you while we're talking about it. And for some reason this is just once again zooming a little bit out here, so I'm gonna give you a closer look. So this is the 5th tape which were included in this box, and let's just unbox it as well here. This is, as you can see, this kind of a bonus tape here featuring 2 bands. And while this is not purely Beastcraft release only, I mean it's a split item, it's a really, really cool featuring 2 bands, and I've heard both of these bands in different context, but so here it is, a nice looking special tape to go with this particular style. But this I didn't get as audio files for review purposes, so I'm not gonna touch that music in this particular review. I've mentioned it previously, so there's also that. And then finally, this nice looking wall flag. As you can see, this is having the very same image as the whole packaging here, with the cover and all. So in case you consider yourself a collector or big Beastcraft fan, this is the kind of a box that is definitely more or less must have you for your collection. So consider this. Links are provided in the description box. Listen to the music, and in case you want to get one of these, hurry up. These are limited editions and not available for much longer, because I already noticed the amounts are going low on the site. So in case you want to know, get this one. It's not a cheap one, but considering everything included in the box, I think it's worth your money, especially if you're a collector, because these kind of items will only go high up with prices, in case you're wondering what's going on and everything. Now, here you go. Hope this shared a little bit of insight into the band and the music, and of course this special packaging. Thank you to the label for this, and I hope you like it. Should you have questions or takes, let me know in the comment section. Bye bye.